It's precisely 1:15. This is the news on Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News is edited by Dulmin Samrasinghe, read by Sabrina Zawahir. The headlines. Government holds successful discussions with political parties on an all-party government. The Board of Investment completes integration of the visa recommendation system. A committee will be appointed to evaluate suitable companies to import, distribute and sell petroleum products. Members of the committee approved by the Cabinet to restructure Ceylon Electricity Board entrusted with responsibilities. A leopard trapped inside a house rescued by Norelia wildlife officers. And in world news, Hiroshima marks 77th anniversary of atomic bombing. And in sports, George Miller becomes oldest medalist as Scotland win bowls gold. Now the local news in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the government has held successful discussions with several political parties on an all-party government. He said that there are groups with various talents and skills. The president said he expects to entrust them with responsibilities according to their skills while listening to their views. He said the aim is to present a program on behalf of the country, giving the opportunity to majority's view through discussions. The president mentioned this when he called over on the Mahanayaka of the Ramanya Nikaya, Most Venerable Makulave Vimalathera yesterday at the headquarters of the Nikaya in Narayanpeta. The Mahasangha said they would invoke blessings on the president's program to form an all-party government. They said that the people have placed their confidence in the leadership of President Wickremesinghe and requested him to safeguard it. The Board of Investment has announced the completion of the integration of the visa recommendation system in coordination with the Department of Immigration and Emigration and the Defence Ministry. This is to provide online visa recommendation for potential investors and all the enterprises that fall under the BOI. The BOI has completed the online system up to the point where investors or enterprises could submit the visa application online and obtain the approved application from the BOI. Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara says a committee will be appointed to evaluate suitable companies to import, distribute and sell petroleum products. He said the objective of the recent advertisement has been briefed to its members to begin evaluation. He added that through this move, more companies will get to engage in the petroleum industry in Sri Lanka with the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation and Lanka IOC. This news is brought to you by Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing local news, members of the committee approved by the Cabinet to restructure Ceylon Electricity Board have been entrusted with responsibilities. They should take steps to submit proposals with the support of technical development institutions within 1 month. Former Secretary to the Finance Ministry, Dr. R.H.S. Samaratunga, former Secretary to the Ministry of Power and Energy, M.M.C. Ferdinando, Additional General Manager of the Electricity Board, Dr. Susantha Pereira, former Chairman of BOI, Thilan Wijesinghe, Chairman of the Petroleum Development Authority, Salya Wickremasurya, President's Counsel, Nihal Jayawardena, former Senior Legal Officer of the Attorney General's Department, Harsha Fernando, and Power and Energy Ministry Director, Chandana Wijesinghe, are members of the committee. A leopard which was trapped inside a house in the Lindula area was rescued by the Norelia wildlife officers yesterday. The leopard was chasing a dog and it had jumped onto the roof and fallen into the house. The house is in Logi Estate in the Lindula area. The house owner said that the leopard fell through the roof into one of the rooms. They had fled the house and locked the leopard inside. Wildlife Department officers along with veterinarian Akalanka Pindenia of the Randenigela Veterinary Hospital were able to sedate the leopard and safely transport it out of the house. The SLPP group of MPs led by parliamentarian Dala Saleh Peruma announced that they have decided to support a national program agreed upon by all political parties for a temporary period. A member of the group, Professor J.L. Piri, said yesterday that this group will only support a national program agreed upon by all political parties. He said this program should have a time frame. He said they have told President Ranil Wickremesinghe and Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena that they will support anything done by the government for the betterment of the people. He said they have also informed the President and the Prime Minister that any cabinet that is formed by a multi-party government should be a small one, while there should not be any state ministers or any other type of ministers. West Midlands Police in UK have confirmed that 2 athletes from Sri Lanka who had mysteriously disappeared from the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham have now been located, but a third is still missing. UK's mirror.co.uk reported that a wrestler, judo star and judo coach had not been seen since Monday. After they went missing, officials have now removed documents from all remaining members of the Sri Lankan team in Birmingham. With that, we conclude the local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Commissioner General of Examinations has decided to conduct the practical examination of the GCE Advanced Level 2021 for the candidates who have sat for the written examination. They should submit the requests before Wednesday. It has been planned to conduct the practical examination this month itself. Candidates can make requests by sending the index number, subject and the telephone number to WhatsApp number 0718 156 717 or sending an email message to slexamseo@gmail.com. That was Main News.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
Police warned people not to park their motorbikes insecurely as there is a tendency of stealing number plates by organized criminals. They said it was observed that stolen motorbike number plates were used for several murders taken place recently. Police advised people to be mindful when they park vehicles and motorbikes by the roadside and other places, especially at night. That came to you in Watchlight.
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
Taking a look at the world news and the headlines of the world news. Hiroshima marks 77th anniversary of atomic bombing. Palestinian civilians and militants killed amid flare-up in Gaza Strip. A U.S. conspiracy theorist ordered to pay millions of dollars in damages for Sandy Hook school hoax claim. Now the world news in detail. People in Hiroshima are marking the 77th anniversary of the atomic bombing that devastated the city in the final days of World War II. Thousands of people gathered this morning for an annual ceremony at the city's Peace Memorial Park. Japanese Prime Minister Kishida Fumio was joined by representatives from 99 countries, as well as UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, the first UN chief to attend the event in 12 years. Tensions remain high after a night of heavy weapons fired between the Gaza Strip and Israel. Dozens of rockets fired from Gaza lit up the sky following the killing of at least 10 people in Israeli airstrikes. Militant leader Tassir Jabari was among the dead. Israel said the strikes followed an immediate threat from his Palestinian Islamic Jihad group. U.S. conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, who has been ordered to pay $49.3 million in damages after falsely claiming a 2012 school shooting was a hoax. A jury in Texas ruled the radio host must pay $45.2 million in punitive damages in addition to $4.1 million in compensatory damages they awarded a day earlier. The 2-week defamation trial was brought by the parents of a child killed in the attack. With that, we conclude the world news. Prior to concluding the headlines of the world news once again. Hiroshima marks 77th anniversary of atomic bombing. Palestinian civilians and militants killed amid flare-up in Gaza Strip. A U.S. conspiracy theorist ordered to pay millions of dollars in damages for Sandy Hook school hoax claim. With that, we conclude the world news. Moving on to development news. Locally manufactured trailers were exported to Australia from Hambantota International Port on the vessel Atlas Leader, which called at the southern port last week. The manufacturer Dutch Lanka Trailers has moved towards using this form of shipping of their trailers, which is proving to be more cost-effective. This is the third shipment facilitated by Hambantota International Port for Dutch Lanka Trailers to date. That was development news.
Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
In sports, first we take a look at the Commonwealth Games. George Miller, aged 75, says he never dreamed of being there after becoming the oldest Commonwealth Games gold medalist when Scotland beat Wales to win the B2, B3 mixed pairs bowls. Miller is director for visually impaired bowler Melanie Innes, who along with Robert Barr and his director Sarah Jane Ewing beat Wales 16-9. Mafa Ekimowa made history for England by winning their first ever gold medal in the rhythmic gymnastics individual all-around final at the Commonwealth Games, scoring 112.300 overall. The 17-year-old led from the start, top scoring in the hoop and clubs. That was Sports News.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Root Code, one of Sri Lanka's leading tech companies, recently took home the People's Choice Award in addition to being bestowed with the Startup of the Year title at the SARC Startup Awards 2022. This regional recognition marks a significant milestone for the Sri Lankan tech space and workforce. This is the first time a Sri Lankan tech company has made a name for itself in the regional competition. That was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Moving on to economic news, Colombo Bowes continued its positive run yesterday, whilst the all-share price index went beyond another milestone of 8,000 levels, mainly driven by local investors. Thus, all-share price index increased by 172.6 points to close at 8,080 for the day, whilst S&P SL20 index gained 84.3 points to close at 2,586. Expo Lanka Holdings, LOLC Holdings, LOLC Finance and Haley's remained as the top positive contributors to the ASPI during the day. That was economic news. Finally, we take a look at the weather report. The Met Department says showers will occur at times in Sabaragamuwa province and in Nuwara, Kandy, Galle and Mathura districts. Several spells of showers may occur in western and northwestern provinces. Strong winds, about 50 kilometers per hour, can be expected at times over the western slopes of the Central Hills and in the northern and north central provinces. That was the weather report. Prior to concluding this bulletin of news, the headlines once again. Government holds successful discussions with political parties on an all-party government. The Board of Investment completes integration of the visa recommendation system. A committee will be appointed to evaluate suitable companies to import, distribute and sell petroleum products. Members of the committee approved by the Cabinet to restructure Ceylon Electricity Board entrusted with responsibilities. A leopard trapped inside a house rescued by Nuwara wildlife officers. With that, we conclude the news.